So that's the visible part. Now, the throat, the pharynx, is divided into three parts. And this chart right here is a useful model to roughly divide the pharynx into its three parts. There's the naso, oro, and laryngopharynx. The nasopharynx is a passageway only for air. It's basically the nasal cavity, and the epithelium is PSCC. So on a chart like this, we would be going kind of just, I don't know, it's a little hard to say, but right here. The nose, maybe the very back of the nose, something like that. So above the stick and up would be the, goodness, that was empty. The nasopharynx. The oropharynx is a passageway for food and air. And now we're basically talking about the back of the mouth. And remember way back when, 7 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, we were talking about epithelial linings, and this one has stratified epithelial lining because of the need for protection, the little sharp edges and things of the food we eat. So now we're talking, see, here's the tongue, here's the back of the mouth. Now we're talking sort of just this area kind of right back in through here. Oropharynx, right? Sort of back in through here. That'd be the oropharynx. And then the the laryngopharynx is a passageway for air and food. It's the distal region of the pharynx and stratified squamous epithelium. And now we're talking, this little thing right here is the epiglottis. So now we're sort of talking about this area right down here, because this is the trachea, back here is the esophagus. So we're talking about this part of the throat of the pharynx now. This would be the laryngopharynx down here. So we got nasal, oro, and laryngopharynx, the three parts of the sort of the conducting zone. The nose, the back of the mouth, top part of, when you open up your mouth and stick out your tongue and say, ah, the doctor wants to see the back of your throat. Let's look at the oropharynx. Laryngopharynx, this is a little further down, and that's air and food as well, of course. So those are the three regions. Here's a picture. It's from your book. It's a little hard to see. So you see here it says nasopharynx. So the dividing line, dotted line, it's a little hard to see. Anyway, it's sort of this area right up here would be the nasopharynx. It's the concha bones. Oropharynx right here. Now we're talking about this area, right back here, sort of the back of the mouth, back of the throat, back of the mouth. And then the laryngopharynx down here. This is the epiglottis. This is the trachea. This would be the esophagus, the food tube. So this area right back down here. So those are the three general divisions. Not sure. I want to mention them because they may be in the study guide. I know that we talk about them in the. Maybe we talk about it. I can't remember. Anyway, your tonsils. I think they're probably in a later lecture, but let me point them out to you because they're on this chart. The tonsils you can see at the back of your back of your throat. The ones that often are taken out in young kids with tonsillectomy, the tonsils get inflamed and stuff like that, are right here. There's two of them. They're called the palatine tonsils. They're the ones that I don't have. Right? They're the ones at the back of your throat. Sometimes it's lymphatic tissue. That's right. We're talking about it tomorrow night. It's lymphatic tissue, and it's there to aid in protection of pathogens and things like that. So we have the palatine tonsil. Another tonsil, where do you go? Right up here, right here, called the pharyngeal tonsil. The other name, we'll get to this tomorrow night, the other name for the pharyngeal tonsil is the adenoids. And they protect the opening to the auditory tube, what you call it, the eustachian tube, which opens right here. And then there's another one under your tongue called the lingual tonsil. So in tonsillectomies, often what they take out are both the palatine tonsils and the adenoid, or the pharyngeal tonsil. On this particular chart, I'm pretty sure that this stuff up here is supposed to represent the pharyngeal tonsil, and this little piece of tissue right here is supposed to represent the palatine tonsil. So you can get along fine without them, no big deal. Some kids really have problems with them, and their parents often have them taken out. Sometimes adults have trouble with them too. I had a student in micro 2 months ago. explain tonsils and stuff. So I said, well, let's see. And she was like, oh yeah, those are kind of ugly. I mean, they were really kind of big and they're nasty. So she had it taken out. The bad thing about adults, is this is weird. When you get your tonsils taken out as a kid, it's like no big deal. You know, it's like, you take your tonsils out, you know, a week later, you get the gas screen in school, right? Adults, when you have your tonsils taken out, I mean, it's still the same stuff, but we don't react so well. It takes us a little bit longer to get over them. I had a friend who had her tonsils taken out, she's probably in her 40s, and she knocked her out for, you know, she was like out for 2 weeks recovering from it. So it's weird how adults don't react very well to these simple sort of childhood procedures.